Hello everybody, Jeffrey Deckman from jeffreydeckman.com, conscious leadership coach, trainer, consultant, and author of the book Developing the Conscious Leadership Mindset for the 21st Century. So today as I'm walking through the woods, for some reason the subject of resentment popped up into my head. And if you're a human being, you have both resented someone and have had someone resent you. And not too long ago, a couple years ago, there was someone who was in my circle of friends who had built up a pretty strong resentment towards me, and I didn't even realize it because oftentimes resentments hide in shadows. And it ended up being pretty challenging for me. And I decided to take a look at that experience as a class, like I often talk about in my videos. It's not what's happening to me, it's what's happening for me and what class am I in. So as I looked at the components of resentment, I found an interesting arc, and I want to share that arc with you. So in my experience, resentment starts out with an individual. If I'm the one with the resentment or if someone else has the resentment, it's pretty much the same thing. But it starts out with, let's say, me not taking responsibility to communicate something that's bothering me. So I can have a lot of reasons for that. I can tell myself that I just don't want to be a pain in the neck, it's not that important. Or one of the things that I don't tell myself is I'm just not getting the courage up to communicate honestly and openly. So because I don't take responsibility, what happens is the individual that's doing whatever it is that I'm building the resentment over just keeps on doing what they're doing. So if I continue not to communicate, if I don't take responsibility, what I start to do is I start to passively aggressively begin to retaliate. Excuse me 1 minute, I want to make sure my dog's okay. He is. And what happens with that retaliation is it starts showing up in the other person's radar screen, and they're not quite sure, like, what's going on? Why am I being edgy with them? So they have no clue why I'm being edgy with them, so I haven't told them what the reason is, so they can't do anything about it. So the cycle continues. So as I start to retaliate by being moody, being grumpy, or maybe being a little bit more assertive with my retaliations, what happens is the other person starts to retaliate back. I throw a couple of elbows at them, they're not quite sure why. They throw a couple of elbows at me, they start getting edgy with me. And now all of a sudden, this retaliation starts coming back to me, and I start to feel right in my continuing of resenting them. So I shift into this place of I'm being right to act the way I am because now their response has given me a justified reason to retaliate even more. So as I start to feel right in that, I stop questioning whether or not I'm taking the right, correct actions. So I kind of get lost in a little bit of a rabbit hole there. And then what happens is I start to feel self-righteous. And when I feel self-righteous, that is a point when I'm really in trouble, because what's happened is I've added up so many things that you have done against me because I've started doing them against you, but I don't take responsibility for that. So I end up feeling self-righteous, and now my retaliation with you expedites to even a higher degree. So you get caught in this cycle where in the beginning I have something I'm not taking responsibility for communicating, so I start to retaliate, and that retaliation against you gets you to start to retaliate against me. Now I have the opportunity to make myself feel right in responding back to you, and as that continues, that dance continues back and forth between us, I start building up so much righteousness on my side that then I have put myself in a position where I don't even feel obligated to come back to you and hand you an olive branch, because I just feel as though you have done so many things to me that you owe me. In that, trouble begins and continues. So next time you're building up a resentment towards someone, take a look and ask yourself, what am I not taking responsibility for? What am I not taking responsibility to communicate, to express, to share, etc.? And I need to hold myself accountable. I need to have the courage to be able to step into that uncomfortable space and communicate what it is that I need to communicate. Otherwise, I'm just going to put myself into that rabbit hole of not taking responsibility, retaliating, feeling right, self-righteousness, and then once I'm into that cycle, it just goes on until it spins out of control. So, take a look at the resentments in your life and see which ones you might be able to start cleaning up, because as you clean up your side of the street and you start addressing that other person in a more peaceful way, I think that not only will you reap the benefits of that, but you'll let that poor person off the hook, because they didn't know what the heck they did anyway. So give them a break, give yourself a break. When you feel a resentment coming, communicate. Okay, that's it for today. Jeffrey Deckman from jeffreydeckman.com, conscious leadership coach, consultant, trainer, and author. Have an awesome day. Thanks.